Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is another one. Gathering Old Men Podcast. Myself, TP, Marlo will be on the way. We had a hurricane down here. For everybody that went through said hurricane, I hope y'all are safe and sound. Um, Here in the Tampa Bay area, we did not suffer anything major. Just a little bit of water, a little bit of wind, nothing but a barbecue. Nothing but a barbecue. TP, I wanted to get you down here for this weekend because I knew what it was gonna be. It's too much going on. But Mother Nature had other ideas, and the one thing I did not want to do is I did not want to get you down here or get you in a situation where you were stuck because I need good capital for Mrs. TP for later on in the season. So
I
I
understand.
went on
I
I went on
understand.
I went on ahead and said, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, the better part of valor is just waiting this out to a better opportunity. Um, and so that's what we're gonna do. So at a later time, hopefully Texas Southern, because that's kind of in Houston. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
I have no
I don't know how
loyalty.
that's going. I don't know how that's gonna fly. And for everybody that's following us, if you happen to see the playing Madden 24, that is not actually true. That may be TPY's bot that's doing that. Um, Simulcasting it gets funky. So again, please bear with us. Um,
I can change it. Because
um,
normally what happens is it goes to whatever my last.
yeah, your last event, yeah.
Yep.
So while TP taking care of that, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, TP was right. TP was right. South Carolina State got the doors blowed off of them by Jackson State. TP was right. Me and Marlo was wrong. Maybe for personal reasons, we might have been wrong. Maybe, just maybe, that might have been the reason why we was wrong. I don't know. What I do know is that this weekend in Miami, them D people and Florida A&M Rattlers strike, strike, and strike again. FAMU by 40. I said it here first.
FAMU by 40?
By 40. That offensive line, listen,
Well,
I seen the game last week. My takeaways from the game last week, TP, I'm going to tell you this. South Carolina State coming off a 3-win season last season and their head coach announcing his retirement may have been too much for this squad to overcome. Also,
mm,
you cannot play zone defense when your front four are not getting pressure. And it's not
nah,
like Jackson State was, it's not like they was getting a bunch of time, or it wasn't like they was getting, the plays wasn't hurting them, but enough of them, death by 1,000 cuts. I'm talking about TP, the routes that really hurt was you blitz a corner or you blitz a linebacker and they sit down in the middle of the zone, first down. That was the plays that was hurting them. People looked at a couple bombs here and there. That didn't hurt. It was the third down conversions. That was easy conversions. There was easy throws. There was no pressure in his face. And you can't have that on a top tier SWAC team. You just can't have it. And the MEAC or the Meek really looking like they was overwhelmed in this game.
mm-hmm.
And that's just some of the small takeaways. There were some other takeaways. I was not overly impressed with Jackson State's offense, and that may be by design. They may have known that they were too much for South Carolina State and didn't open up their whole bag of tricks. They're going to need them this week. Fam, you got a pass rush. And somehow or another, they keep acquiring top-tier defensive linemen. I don't know how it happened. But when you 3 weeks in the camp and you get another top-tier defensive lineman, that could bode problems. Other thing looking out for this game, FAMU, Jackson State. Jackson State defense against the run is concerning. Because until the game got out of hand, South Carolina State was able to run the ball.
Mm-hmm. So why wasn't South Carolina State able to score?
Because their quarterback was, 3 for 21 or something at one point.
That's
and
absolutely terrible.
I don't know. Thanks, DJ. I don't know if
So here's a better question. Was it the quarterback was just that bad, or was the defense that good to where he didn't have a stable platform to deliver the ball from? Because from what I saw, there was somebody in his face. There was somebody in his face every throw. Now, I don't know what quarterback you know that can consistently hit people when he has less than 3 seconds to make a decision with his receivers blanketed. So, from what I saw, Jackson State said, okay, we'll give you some runs here and there. But what happens when you get a 3rd and 5? Can't make a play. I don't think they had a 3rd down conversion until the second quarter. Midway through the second quarter, it was bad.
So, what about the free runners? They had absolute free runners. And I'm not talking about, they blitzed linebackers. Jackson State did blitz linebackers. But you had untouched defensive tackles. That's a problem.
It is a problem.
That is absolutely a problem.
What it looked like to me was Jackson State was just more prepared. And I told you that was going to be the reason they won. I literally said that on this podcast last week. I said Jackson State is more prepared for this game than South Carolina State. The coaches and the staff that was left behind by Coach Prime were more ready than South Carolina State. I literally said that. And then when the game started, one team looked like they've been practicing all summer, and one team looked like they was playing badminton all summer. Did not look like two. It did not. They did not look the same. And then when you get to the second half, South Carolina State kind of settled down, a little bit. But no, it was already out of hand. And by then, now you have no choice but to pass. Now the option of running is completely taken out the picture. Jackson State pinned their ears back the whole second half and sent the dogs, and they couldn't block a soul. But what do I know? What do I know? I don't know football. I just
say
talk
this,
shit.
To your credit, the coach after the game press conference said that his team was unprepared. Now, this is a legendary coach. This is a man that came into the MEAC and dominated his entire tenure in the MEAC. So this whole MEAC SWAC rivalry, because for 2 years, the MEAC has won the Celebration Bowl, aka the Black National Championship. But this version of MAC SWAC Challenge, it was no challenge. It was over with. And the thing that made me, y'all, come here. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. If you follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, please understand, I was telling everybody in the world, this game will be more exciting than USC and San Jose State.
Absolutely.
I was wrong. San Jose State put up a fight for 3 minutes. Well, longer than 3 minutes, about 2 quarters. But they put up a fight. South Carolina State never put up a fight in this game.
No, there was
They
no.
had some good runs. They looked like a tough team for like 5 plays. But this wasn't it. And all 6 of them people that are MEAC fans on Twitter, where y'all at? Because all 6 of y'all had all the smoke for a week and a half.
Oh, they gonna always
A
have
week
it.
and a half, I was like, oh, just all the smoke for a week and a half. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
Let me tell you.
I can't.
But let me explain it to you, man. Let me explain it to you. See, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth, and then you shut the fuck up. South Carolina State can say all they want before the game, but when they got hit in the mouth, and I'm talking about they back office, their supporters, y'all ain't got shit to say either. Because when your team is getting handled, you please be quiet. There's a difference between being in the game, y'all fighting back and forth, and y'all getting down to the fourth quarter and you lose a game. You can make a statement that, hey, we might have got cheated on this play. Because there's a lot of plays throughout a football game. And in close games, you can always look back on a couple plays and be like, if this would have went our way, maybe we could have won. Like, I can go back to my Longhorns playing Alabama last year. There was about 5 plays that went their way that if they would have went our way, there's no way we lose. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't this. That wasn't this. They got their ass whooped. So your team got your ass whooped. Back fans, backstage, please be quiet. You reserve the right to talk again when your team actually puts up any kind of fight.
All right, so before we go any further, there is a little league football game being played right now in Utah. The Florida Gators and the Utah Fighting Utes are playing football. And I know I said on this podcast that Utah play smash mouth football. Because they go find them some Polynesian, Samoan, Hawaiian football players to be on that front line. And they don't care what you do. They don't care how many passes you throw. They're going to run that rock. Why 7-zip? And it's 8:30 already. It's 7-zip.
Did the game just start?
Game just started.
Oh, okay.
Game just started.
So who up?
So and the first score was a 70-yard play on the first play.
Damn.
If Utah is throwing the ball, Florida in trouble. Because you got to defend the run, and Florida's in trouble. And to the Gator fans, I wish y'all nothing but pain and heartache all season. I hope when you wake up and you go pour your bowl of Fruit Loops, your milk sour.
Not sour milk.
I want sour. Every time you go to the grocery store,
sour milk.
It's only one day.
Sour milk is
one day left on that milk. But you know what? Again, I digress. That just brought me some joy. That just brought me some joy. So TP, a topic that I purposefully held back because as a dad, I kind of knew what your reaction was going to be, but I'm going to ask it anyway. There is a viral video going around the internet of a either little league or high school football coach punching one of the kids in the stomach. As a
Why?
parent, TP,
Why are you asking me?
because Marlo not here, and
Do,
I
do,
feel
do, do,
like
do
I
you do
know
you
Marlo has
know
some.
do you know that I've worn black forces for a better part of my life? Do you understand? I'm afraid to go to jail. I have been there. I'm not afraid to go back. When it come to my boys, if a grown ass man puts his hand on any one of my kids, he's gonna find out who the fuck I am, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's not. There is absolutely no reason you should be hitting a child, especially one that's not yours. Why are we punching kids in the stomach?
It
And it's a video. He should be in jail for assault on a minor. In no context is that okay. He should be in jail.
ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough that can keep me off your ass. The the fact that we teach our children to respect elders, to respect grown people, and then to have grown people misplace that trust, and I'm gonna use misplaced loosely. I'm gonna use that real loosely. It it I think, and I watched the documentary. Um, I watched the documentary BS High, and Bomani Jones said that sometimes because it's black and brown boys, people tend to get away with stuff they ain't got no business getting away with. And it's crazy, this train in the background. And the fact that this is viral on national, this is viral on every platform, social media platform. The fact that it's viral and whoever had the camera, you part of the problem. Because it should, the moment the camera person seen that child get punched, all cameras should have been down. It should have been straight mollywop at that point.
Yes, 911. I like to
So
report a
I just,
crime. I just seen a grown man assault a child. I'm at so and so park. Yeah, I'll direct you to him. I actually have video evidence when you get here. All the Karens in
that
the
part,
world, y'all ain't present when the little black boy get hit, but y'all show up when they playing in the pool. That's for their neighborhood, shit like
that
that.
part.
But when we have situations like this where somebody should be going to jail, because again, there is no way and in no context is this okay. Now you can encourage a kid. I smack him in the helmet. I'm talking to him. I might yell at him because I coach youth football, but I've never punched a child. I'm not gonna punch him in his helmet as hard as I can and knock him on his butt. But let me tell you something. Had that been my child, it would have been two people going to jail. Because I'd have called the police and then I'd have beat the shit out of them. They probably would have had video of me on his ass after I took the video of him hitting my son. So it would have been two people going to jail that day. I would have
So,
still been better looking though.
and all of this leads up to, there's a documentary on Netflix, TP,
Mm,
called BS High. For those who
I
don't know,
still
BS
still
High
need to check it out.
BS High is a documentary about Bishop Sycamore, who not once but twice played IMG
Ooh.
Academy within 15 months, 18, 15 months of each other. and pretty much got blown out. Now, IMG is a a sports academy that is also a high school. Let's call it a prep school that has the best of the best of the best. Those kids are going to college somewhere. Bishop Sycamore, or BS High School, not so much. Bishop Sycamore
Mm.
had not been around very long. Um, and I don't want to give away the entire documentary, but Ohio has a board, just like we have here in Florida, a board that governs high schools. What you can and can't do with athletic programs and all this other stuff. These kids never had housing, or suitable housing, I should say. Their classes were through a online company at a library, but they didn't have access to the library because the people who were in charge of the high school never paid bills. And I'll leave the whole. The kids had PPP loans. TP. When the entire thing was over, one of the kids, through hard work and ambition, got a scholarship offer from Grambling State. His mom was so happy. He was so happy. One problem: his sophomore year of high school didn't really count because the high school he went to wasn't a high school. So they played a national football game against a nationally ranked high school opponent on ESPN. It was so bad, the ESPN announcer said maybe somebody should stop the fight. They had two kids, season-ending injuries. I'm sorry, I said kids. They had a kid with a season-ending injury and a grown man who had already played JUCO with a season-ending injury. Now, UTP, you would think all of this, somebody gonna get in trouble, somebody gonna get sanctioned. Spoiler alert: nothing happened to nobody
Fortnite.
because they weren't a high school.
So what were they?
Nothing. They didn't have to abide by the bylaws of Ohio State Athletic Association because they weren't a high school. And the Ohio State Athletic Association only governs high schools
So what you're saying is nothing to protect them.
at all.
There was no waiver signed.
None.
And it's not a high school, but is it a school?
No.
So what
You have
was
to actually have like
so what so they didn't go to class? Like what was it?
BS. Oh, wait, yeah. The man, let me tell you something. The man is so blatant with his scammery. He named it Bishop Sycamore. Like nobody got no red flags. And then here's the best
BS
part.
high school.
Here's the best. BS High School. Here's the best part. In order for him to get the game with IMG Academy, they had to find basically a matchmaker.
Mm.
And he goes around and he puts together high profile teams. The last time they played IMG Academy, they played IMG Academy on a Sunday. Why they played another football game that Friday night?
Mm.
This was all kinds of wrong. This was it. TP was bad all the way around. And I'm watching this, and I'm knowing at the end of this thing, somebody in jail. These kids got eviction records because they stayed in an apartment complex, and the dude didn't pay none of the bills for 3 months. Football season only 3 months. So in the fourth month, they got evicted. So now these kids got evictions on their record.
What?
Some of the kids got to, pay back PPP loans. Like,
Who's taking out PPP loans?
oh, they told the kids get them their social security number and sign this people's piece of paper.
Oh, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because bro, they need a lawyer. This would get ugly. I can see this getting ugly because
And
what
dude is
in
just
the
walking around.
world?
The documentary starts off with, "Do I look like a scammer?"
If you have to ask, the answer is probably yes.
But I digress. Please go out and watch this documentary. This is a classic case of be careful who you trust your kids with. Be absolutely careful. Yeah, so bad, so bad. Um, so the Gators score is 7-3 right now. They went down and scored a field goal. Y'all know the only thing that I like about the Florida Gators is if they don't like the head coach, they gonna fire him. They don't care who you is. You gotta go. Florida finna fire another head coach.
Season ain't even
The second
started.
one in 3. He better
The
not lose this
season.
game. TP, you know like I know. They don't care. They will fire. We had 2 losing seasons and the coach still there. They had the last head coach, all he did was say, "I don't take recruiting seriously." They got rid of him. In a week, he was gone. And all he said was he don't take recruiting that seriously.
Should
But
never said that.
hey, it is. Shout out to all the HBCU players that made 53-man rosters. Marquise Bell, FAMU alumnus, was cut by the Dallas Cowboys after he absolutely showed out for them and got signed by the Colts. He's on their 53-man roster, not a practice squad. So congrats to him. We are back with this ACC thing, TP. So news this week actually came out yesterday, that the reason that the Pac-12 did not take the $30 million from ESPN was because Stanford and Cal were against it.
That
This
don't
was when
make
they had
sense.
10 teams.
That don't make
10
sense.
teams. I don't know.
Some smells fishy.
I mean, I could. I, because I'm a homer on this, I'm going to try and be gentle. You can't really afford to pay the members that you have. So you're going to go get 2 teams that have shown you they don't have good decision making skills. And you're going to bring them into the fold when the major complaint is the media contract. And you're going to bring in 2 teams that blew up a media deal. I'm trying to figure out how this makes sense. And I'm just trying to figure out how this makes sense
It won't make sense.
because you know that girlfriend you used to date and you complained about her, and then you go out 3 months later and get a girl just like her. And the only hope you have is North Carolina State. Because North Carolina State apparently is in a block of 4 teams and they are kind of waffling on whether or not they're going to agree to let Cal and Stanford and SMU in.
Mm.
And again, I tell you, if these teams are telling you let us in, we don't have to get no money for a while. If they got money like that, you don't need them in the squad. You don't need them. That's gonna be the problem. That's 100% gonna be the problem. But what do I know? So we, we'll see how that goes. We'll monitor that. Um, I don't know what's going on with my ESPN. I'm trying to see, but I don't know what's going on with my ESPN. I'm trying to see something. Um, TP, what does your
Yes,
Texas
sir.
Longhorns play this week?
Rice
Who are we playing
Owls.
this week? I need to know.
Playing Rice Owls
By 40? By 40?
by a million.
I mean, I like those odds. I like those odds. TP, we're playing LSU.
I know. I'll be
We
tuned
playing
in.
LSU in Orlando. They
Is
don't have their starting running
wait,
back.
is Orlando still on the map?
Yeah, Orlando's still on the map. They're still on the map. They in Central Florida. They didn't really get anything but some rain. That's why Marlo isn't with us because he had to work today to try and undo the work that he missed on yesterday.
Mm.
So Marlo is a general contractor for everybody out there. So from time to time he will, you know, not be available because of things that are beyond his control. And this is one of those things that is not within his control. Hello. But LSU, how you coming to Orlando without your defensive tackle again? And you start running back again.
Oh, you think they worried?
Ain't gotta be worried. They ain't gotta be worried. They should not be worried at all. They should not. They should come in here just like last year, thinking that Brian Kelly is gonna get them over the hump. But TP, do you know how bad I don't like our head coach?
Oh,
Do you,
there's at least 20 podcasts that we can go back and refer to. We'll know exactly how you feel about Mr. Norvell.
it, if I'm picking just the coaching aspect of Norville over Brian Kelly, Brian Kelly should have never left Cincinnati.
Mm.
He is a Cincinnati guy through and through. He is a power, I mean, a group of five guy through and through. He's not a big time coach. Big time coaches win big games. I've seen him lose a national championship. Granted, it was some off the field stuff with his linebacker and all of that, but you lost a national championship game. You've lost several big games as the Notre Dame head coach. And here's the best part. Notre Dame ain't one of them schools that was like, you know what, you got a producer, we got to get. They wasn't even doing that. He was like, you know what, I think I'm a big time coach. Let me go down here in Nick Saban's backyard. Why? Granted, he better than Jimbo, but that ain't saying much.
See why he
But
went to LSU. I tell you exactly why he went to LSU.
is
To
it
be
money?
made. He went there because the SEC
Oh
coaches have the
man.
richest contracts in college football. Just talk
Oh.
to Kirby, how much he make.
Uh, th-
It's actually unheard of. Like, it's outrageous.
Here is a wonderful scenario. See, I'm a fan of football. Not only do I like the game, I like all the stuff that goes around outside the game. So, like, if a coach get fired on the tarmac, that's that's the funniest thing ever. Like, to get fired on the tarmac, I I don't know if any coach could ever top that ever again. But if Brian Kelly lose 2 seasons in a row with a better recruiting class, can he keep his job? Can he keep his job? That is the question.
You know what? What do you think? Do you think he keep his job? Is a question.
No, but you have oftentimes asked this question. Who else is out there? What big name is out there
Why I gotta
to
be a
go to
big name?
LSU?
Why I gotta be a big name though? See, that's the problem. Everybody wants these big name guys, but here's the thing: coaches only look for jobs when they're not successful. So if they not successful there, what makes you think they're gonna come be successful where you are? You know, there are some situations where it does end up working out for the better. Use Nick Saban because he didn't do that well with the Miami Dolphins. Came back to college football, and the rest is history, as they say. But at the end of the day, most of these coaches, you don't need to have a big name. You go find you somebody that's been doing well as a coordinator that has the mindset to be a head coach. Like, there's a reason Eric Bieniemy has not been offered a head coaching job because he's not head coaching material. That's not what he wants to do. He sits there and call plays. We can talk about the Rooney Rule and all that, but there's a reason he hasn't been offered a job as a head coach, and why people like D'Amico Ryans has. And I stand by my coach.
You
But
know
he
what?
wasn't
I'm
a
with
big
you on one,
name.
y'all.
He wasn't a big name. It wasn't like, oh, we got to go get the best coach out there. We got to get somebody well known. No, this is his first head coaching job.
Well, all right. So since you brought up your Titans, they named the starting quarterback, TP.
Who's the starter?
Your first round draft pick.
Damn sure better been.
Oh,
Or there would have been smoke in the city.
okay. So let me put my glasses on because I got some questions. Right? Can the offensive line protect
Okay.
them? That's my question. That is my question. I You don't want to talk about any of the Carr brothers except saying that they trash because you hold some residual anger for the older brother, which really wasn't his fault because he was running for
It
his
ain't
life.
residual. It ain't
But we gonna
residual. It is embedded. There's a difference. It is always here. It don't. It's not a recurring thing
it
where
ain't going nowhere.
it just never went away. You ever ate something and it left a bad taste in your mouth, and no matter what you did, you still had that bad taste. You can drink something sweet, it don't matter. Because
You
Deshaun
mean
Watson
hiring the
was the
40th head coach?
was the sweet tea that we were supposed to be getting, and that sweet tea did not distinguish the nasty taste in my mouth that I've had for Texan QBs over the life of the franchise. Now,
Okay, so I'm not gonna
now,
blame the franchise for Deshaun Watson.
yes, we are. We're gonna blame the franchise and Deshaun Watson. You put yourself in that situation, and the front office handled it as bad as the front office could handle it. Like I don't that was historically bad. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson don't give a fuck. He's rich. He got paid before he left, and then got paid some more when he got to the Browns. He got to be the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to get two big ass signing bonuses in back to back years. Like, how do you sign a contracts every year and getting the signing bonus? Know the fine print on it, but it's all good. We have CJ Stroud
Oh
now.
no, no,
We're looking towards the what?
I think y'all will beat the Bucks.
We should beat the Bucks. They trash. You can tell Marlo I said it.
He know
We
they
gonna beat
trash.
we gonna beat the Ravens
'Cause
too. Y'all can tell VA I said it. I don't care. I stand by my team.
oh wow, I feel you.
But I think the Bucks are actual trash though. Like I don't think they're a good football team.
No, it's that you got two wide receivers that aren't fast. The fast guy they cut.
Talk about Scotty Too Hotty.
I don't Man, listen. Scotty was the fastest thing on their squad.
Probably.
Offense and defense. And he
I,
gone.
I agree. You know, that was their decision.
So
They have a right to that decision.
Mike Evans might not be 1,000-yard receiver this year. He might be a blocking back this year. Because y'all gonna let Baker Mayfield throw 40 times a game?
No.
They might not let him throw 25.
He'll
And
get up. He'll be between that 25 and 30 pass attempts a game. And most likely the reason behind that is going to be because they're playing from behind from him throwing the first quarter interception.
oh, oh God. You know what? It feels so good to just tell the truth about the Bucks and not have nobody in their feelings. I know my Raiders are in a transition year. We gave away our franchise quarterback. But
When a team
because
look, no, I'm on your head. It says my team is in a transition year. Translation, we ass. Say it, Troy. Say it with me. We ass.
I'm not gonna say that. Here's why
Say
I'm not
it
gonna
with
say
me.
that.
Say it
We
with
got
me.
our starting running back.
Say it with me.
What I do know is
We
we
ass.
better than Denver, and we gonna be better than the
Let Russ cook.
Chargers. Los
Let
Angeles, San
Russ
Diego.
cook.
You know damn well Sean Payton is not finna let Russ cook nothing. He ain't finna boil
Sean
water.
Payton won a Super Bowl with a quarterback the same height as Russell Wilson that was less mobile.
So I just want to put this out there. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Drew Brees has done more in his career than Russell Wilson can ever hope to achieve.
You don't
His
believe that
ceiling
Sean Payton was the
was them
reason
two.
behind that?
Sean Payton can save any quarterback except Russell Wilson.
See, there you go. That is some bias hating bullshit right there. That is some bias hating bullshit right there. What you just said. Russell Wilson was a Super Bowl MVP. Has been to multiple Super Bowls. This isn't no bum off the street. This ain't no random guy that he just coming in trying to save his career that ain't had no success. We're talking about a Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. Now, he won as many Super Bowls as Drew Brees ever won. Already. He's been to more Super Bowls than Drew Brees ever went to. Now, you telling me Sean Payton, with his track record on the ability to get the most out of his quarterbacks and the most out of his offense, with an already established defense, you don't think that the Denver Broncos are better than the Las Vegas Raiders?
No.
But we'll let the record tell the story. Because by the end of the 2023-24 season, the Raiders will have a worse record than the Denver Broncos. Now, we could bet an eyebrow on it. I got two thick ones. We can bet an eyebrow on it. You let me know. Season ain't started yet.
The only reason ain't no eyebrow on it is because we still got the New England Patriots.
No, stand by it. I will bet an eyebrow to any Colts fan that we have a better record than them. I'm going to get to this
point first before we start wagering. Before we start wagering, I'm going to say this.
Eyebrow will still be there, too. It'll still be there.
I'm going to say this. Are you saying, TP, after what you saw from Russell Wilson last year, that he is going to be better this year? Let's eliminate clock management issues.
Yes,
he was throwing interceptions in the end zone. He was
the offense was terrible. Their scheme was terrible, which is why they brought in Sean Payton.
The offense was terrible because the quarterback was terrible.
The offense was terrible because the person calling the plays had no structure to the flow of the game. Have you ever called plays? Have you ever stood on the sideline and called plays?
Yeah, actually I have.
Then you should understand every play should set up that you're not just over there just calling whatever the fuck is on your court. You're not just, let's run this. Let's run this. That's what they were doing last year, and it was fucking obvious. Look at their red zone offense. After one running back fumbles, what we're gonna do? We're gonna run the same run. They fumbled on literally the same run play 3 times in one game.
So I got this. That's not a question. This is a statement. If Russell Wilson is this elite quarterback that everybody want to make him to be, and I hate to use this dude because I don't like him. However, if Tom Brady is on the goal line and Corey Dillon has carried them up the field, is Tom Brady going to look and see a slant come in?
That's not fair.
Let me answer let me
that's
finish the question.
That's not fair. Nope.
How is
nope.
it not fair?
Nope, that's not fair.
How is it not fair?
Because that's speaking on that. First of all, let me take you to a court of law. That's speculation that he had the right to change the play. You don't know whether or not he had the right to change the play. What he was given was, if you see this look, it is man coverage, throw the slant. That is what, because I watched the documentary, I watched the report, them talking about that final play in that Super Bowl. He got the look that his coach put him in a position to make. That's not his fault. You can't ever say that play was Russell Wilson's fault because he did.
So let's fast forward to Denver.
He did exactly what his coach had instructed him to do, and Malcolm Butler made the play of the century. Nobody saw him. He's not a big guy.
No,
it's not like you got a 6'5" play. Malcolm Butler is 5'10".
So let's fast forward.
At 5'10". The motherfucker probably my height.
So let's fast forward to him in Denver. Ain't no way him in Denver should not have the cachet to change plays. That's not possible. And there were plays that he 100% should have changed. Now, I will admit, there were some plays that he just flat out didn't know. Them 3 interceptions in the end zone, that's a guy not knowing the plays.
There was a lot of miscommunication within that offense. And
I will agree.
And what I have noticed, or what I have learned throughout my years as coaching, if you overcomplicate your offense, you can confuse your quarterback. I don't care how smart they are. Now, if you are too prideful of a man to dumb down your offense because your players aren't understanding it, and then they go out and throw interceptions, that's your fault. I.e., that's why they have a new offensive coordinator. That's why they have a new head coach.
All right. We're going to watch this because Mr. Neighborlator.
I mean, just tell me where I'm wrong in this whole situation. Tell me, am I wrong? Am I
All
wrong
I'm saying is that
on that situation?
If it's any other quarterback, I am 100% with you. But we expect more of Russell Wilson. Fair or unfair, people have labeled him.
Of course, we elite. Expect more because
he has not been elite in years. He wasn't elite his last 2 seasons in Seattle. He wasn't elite in Denver.
They were still winning.
They were still. Okay, but he wasn't elite. That's just like Dak has a great winning record in Dallas. However, TP, would you want Dak on your Houston Texans?
Don't ask me that. I might catch a flight to Orlando. Fuck the hurricane. I'm on the way. And me and you gonna have a conversation outside. And it ain't gonna be about the weather.
See what I'm saying? So we give Russell this, and we give Russell, as fans, we give Russell passes because he missed the neighbor lady. He got the baddest chick in the neighborhood. Let's just call it what it is. People don't want to interview Russell Wilson because of Russell Wilson. People want to interview Russell Wilson because of Sierra. Hell, Russell, you can come on this podcast anytime you want. Bring the whole family. Let's sit down and have a chit chat. If you got beef with me on my takes with you, I am willing to listen as long as you bring your family.
He's not about to sit here and listen to your slander. You gonna fuck around and get sued. Call him Mr. Neighborly in the middle of the podcast. You gonna see him in civil court.
Man, like, come on. It's always that one lady in the neighborhood that everybody loves. She had the best cookies. She had the absolute best candy at Halloween. He just happened to have the best wife in the neighborhood. Everybody want to interview him because of his wife. Mm-hmm. I said what I said.
You gonna fuck around and get sued. He gonna call Harvey Specter, and you gonna be in this bitch broke as hell because he done took everything. You gonna be podcasting off a Nokia flip phone.
He better worry about Future. Stop worrying about me.
You gonna be podcasting off a Nokia flip phone from the early 2000s because he done got you for everything. Keep on. All right, keep on, Troy. Keep it on.
Well, since we talking about elite quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers in this Hard Knocks. So, last episode of Hard Knocks, they showed a clip of the Giants game in which Aaron, in the middle of a preseason game, It's trash talking and pushing back and forth. Granted, there was a 5-step push down or whatever. It can be debated. But Aaron decided he would go to the lineman and say, "Dog, it's 5 steps. What you doing?" And the young man said, "Who is you?" Aaron proceeds to throw a touchdown, runs up to the young man and say, "Google me." Aaron, if they have to Google you, they don't respect you. Oh my
First,
God.
first of all, young man, respect your elders, cause you're gonna get embarrassed. You're gonna fuck around and get embarrassed. And now the storyline is Aaron Rodgers, who is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a 2-time MVP. If you don't know him, then you don't know football. You look stupid. Because there's no way you choose football as a profession and you don't know who Aaron Rodgers is. There's no way. I'm sorry. But that is fucking hilarious, and Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT.
Oh my. I mean, just, I, it just warms the heart. It just warms the heart that like that kid was like, "Who is you?" Really? Oh. Well,
I bet he knows now.
GP. Yeah, he know now. But it was preseason. It was preseason.
I
Because
mean,
everybody,
you know
Aaron
what?
Rodgers.
But you know what that tells me? That Aaron Rodgers has a certain energy that we haven't seen within him in probably 10 years leading up to a season. Aaron Rodgers is that cool guy that's just sitting there. It is what it is. I'm gonna go out here and do my job. I'm better than everybody else, so I ain't gotta practice. I ain't gotta talk shit. I ain't gotta do nothing really but show the fuck up. Until you get
It's
to
the
the
same Aaron
playoffs.
Rodgers that
Until he gets to the playoffs, and then he lays an egg like he's done for so many years because he didn't have that same spark. What this is telling me is he might have found that spark. He got that spark plug changed, and now he's hitting on all cylinders. That's a good sign for the Jets. That's a good sign for the Jets. That tells me that your quarterback is locked in.
I so there was clips of Randall Cobb telling the young wide receivers that y'all ain't gonna be able to keep screwing up because eventually he's gonna go off. And Aaron got in front of God and country and said, "I'm a different guy. I ain't just out here to go off, blah 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 blah." Here's what I like about Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks keep them cameras rolling, even when you think they ain't rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, in a practice drive, the young men had drop passes and holding and false starts, and Aaron quietly went off. To his credit, it was quiet. He quietly went off to the offensive coordinator, to the head coach, but he quietly went off. I don't think Aaron has changed. I think Aaron is the same asshole he always been. He just know the spotlight is on him and he want to look like the good guy again. Bro, them days over. Them days is over. Ever since you admitted to being the using Schedule 3 drugs, we've thought you was a scumbag. We've thought you've been getting away with flouting NFL policy because you was out of country. You is who you is. Be who you are. We enjoy you being who you are. We enjoy every athlete being who they is, as long as it ain't dangerous to nobody. So be the asshole. Cuss people out. Tell people, hey, we got everything on the line. We sold everything. Tell people you took a $49 million pay cut to be with the Jets. For that, I don't know, man.
I
I
mean,
don't know if I like no
is it
team.
true?
They took $49 million. Yeah, he took a $49 million pay cut.
Okay.
He was going. His next year cap number would have made them get rid of everybody. There would be no Sauce Gardner. There would be no Quentin Williams. It'd be none of them people there. But he took a pay cut. Him
Good
taking
man.
that pay cut
Good.
allowed them to do stuff.
Good man's.
You know, he did a Tom Brady.
What Tom Brady do?
Took a lot of pay cuts in New England.
Where'd that get him?
Bunch of damn Super Bowls. You know what? We ain't even going there right now.
And what happened when Joe Flacco took that $100+ million deal in Baltimore? What happened there?
He was a bum from day one.
Stop. No, that's not what I asked you.
They did not go to the Super Bowl again. They went nowhere.
They went nowhere. And why was that?
They had no wide receivers that could separate. I think
they had no
Ben
wide
Jamal,
receiver. They had no wide receivers that could separate, and they had no money to bring guys in that could do it.
Oh wait, no. And the Ray Rice thing happened also. So a quarter of that I'll blame on Ray Rice. A small quarter.
We blame it.
But Flacco missing everything, you know. But since Marlo here, Joe Montana was on the podcast and he got straight to the business. He said Tom Brady is not the GOAT. He said he is not the GOAT. He said Dan Marino. Fucking Dan Marino is the GOAT. The dude he beat, by the way, is the GOAT.
And how old is Joe Montana?
It don't matter how old he is.
It do.
He is the GOAT. He know he the GOAT.
Papa need his medicine. Because for him to say some outlandish shit like that is about the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Somebody who played in a sport. Like, I can't even tell you how asinine that statement. Joe Montana, come on, bro. You can't say Dan Marino is the GOAT.
Like in any way,
Papa need his medicine, man.
That's your question.
Dan Marino can't carry Joe Montana's jock strap.
Did he add anything in with that? Like, what is the context?
They asked him, who do you think the GOAT is? Who do you think the GOAT is?
And he very simply said Dan Marino.
That basically was saying, I don't give a fuck about this question. Fuck it. That's pretty much what he was saying.
What I heard was Super Bowls don't matter. Dan Marino is the best thrower of the football ever. Are we in the same ballpark?
If he would have said that, I'd been on board. I would have been on board with all of that.
Because clearly we're not basing greatness on the ability to win. That can't be, where we're at with it.
Wow, I can't even believe that.
Let me see if y'all can hear this.
That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like
what podcast was this? This podcast had to be called Cocoon.
This was on IMF.
Because he'd have brought that shit around here, he'd have got lit up.
to the clip. Do you understand?
Like when we
Listen, kids?
literally when we talk about the greatest quarterbacks ever, I don't think nobody has ever said Dan Marino in
Give
our
me Jim
podcast.
Kelly.
In all of our podcasts,
Give
nobody
me
has said.
Warren
Wow,
Moon.
wow. Listen.
I don't
If
care.
it's not Joe Montana, it's Warren Moon. I said what I said.
That's
Any man that
crazy.
get pushed out the NFL because of racism, and you go up north and win five straight. You had to show these people you could. He didn't play football at an HBCU. He played at Washington. They seen what he can do in a Rose Bowl. Back then, the Rose Bowl was your launching point. Hey, if you light somebody up in the Rose Bowl, you're a first round draft pick. Look at all the bums that have come out of USC and UCLA and end up being in the NFL in the first round off the freaking Rose Bowl. This man gets sent to Canada. He set the whole world on fire. When he left Canada, he had the most yards of any professional quarterback ever.
Ever.
And then they put him in the run and shoot in Houston.
And him and Billy White shoes lit up the motherfucking scoreboards.
Like, why y'all keep playing with this man? And I know I say Joe Montana because Super Bowls matter. They do. But if it's not Joe Montana, I am sorry. Your win percentage in championship Super Bowl games have got to count for something. Now, if you say, hey, Moon can't be the number one quarterback all the time because of that choke against the Buffalo Bills, fine. I can go ahead and say, cool. However, what did the Buffalo Bills do with that? They went and lost another Super Bowl. So we don't even count that. But Dan Marino? The only thing you can say about Dan Marino is in a time when the NFL was running the ball 100 times a game, Dan Marino was throwing it 100 times a game. And when I was younger, I was like, Miami couldn't run the football. But now I'm also like, Dan Marino called his own plays. What if they was telling Dan run the football? Dan was like, fuck that, I'm throwing the mark. Which one? I don't care. So, I don't know, dog. Dan Marino?
Pop misses meds. That's the only explanation for that.
Like, okay, so in his second season, he averaged 317 yards a game.
And this when the NFL ran the football. When receivers could lose their mud coming across the middle. Like when
Let me tell you something. We
His
didn't have
quarterback rating was
so
108 that season.
let me tell you why. Back then, there wasn't as many teams that played on turf. Now, we were the original greatest show on turf. A lot of people don't know that because they look at where the Texans play now. But the Oilers played in the Astrodome on Astro turf.
yeah.
I'm talking about straight carpet. They might as well have been in your living room running routes. They were always open. It is very easy to run offense when you ain't got to worry about your receiver slipping. I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
This was real artificial turf. This wasn't that grassy turf shit either. No, this was straight carpet.
Man, and again,
I think
in 1984, Dan Marino, this was his stat line in 84. 5,000 yards. Yeah, all kind of bugs flying around. 5,084 yards. 48 touchdowns. His touchdown ratio was 8.5%. His average attempt was 9 yards,
Damn.
317 yards a game, 108.9 quarterback rating. Woo, ooh.
And what did they win that year?
Nothing. He got beat by Joe Montana.
I'm just saying.
He got beat by Joe Montana.
I mean, he couldn't go play defense for him. Our defense was abysmal at best.
I mean, I get it if you're looking at just straight stats. I mean, he's the original stat stuff.
What about Dan
But
Fouts?
you mean the guy that probably has the most fumbles in NFL history?
I'm talking about the guy that probably had the most 4,000-yard seasons before recent memory. Because he also was one of those quarterbacks that brought in the wave of tossing the ball around the yard all day.
I put in Dan Fouts fumbles, and it said fumbles to go. You can't make this shit up. Oh my god.
Mans couldn't hold on to the ball. He must have had little hands like Kenny Pickett.
It must be something about the Chargers.
He must have had little hands.
Dan Fouts has 106 fumbles and 181 games. Phillip
That is
Rivers
out.
has 109 fumbles and 226 games. Oh my god. Oh man.
That's a lot of
And
fumbles.
as a guy who like gunslingers, because Dan was a gunslinger, don't get me wrong. But Dan could fumble the ball. Chimo Nelly. Dan is in the Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Dan has 242 interceptions.
Jesus Christ.
He was the king of fuck it. I'm just, oh my god, like,
I don't think I looked at his turnover stats. I need to go back and do a little research because the fuck.
Oh, it hasn't even loaded yet.
If fuck it, I'm gonna make a play was a person. Like hell no. He has more turnovers.
Oh my god.
If we're thinking about how many turnovers Jameis Winston would have had he been left the reins, it wouldn't have been that bad.
God, don't get Marlo started.
I'm just saying.
I got a Jameis Winston jersey.
I heard
When's
it
the last
makes
time you wore it,
good firewood.
What'd you say, Troy?
When was the last time you wore it?
Well, I wear it playing cards.
God damn.
I'm not finna wear it to the game.
That's right, Troy. Never let them see you sweat. I mean, Marlo.
Not finna do that.
Never let them see you sweat.
Mm-mm.
So TB, since
But
we
you know
started
what?
talking about,
I would take Jameis Winston over the fucking Baker Mayfield.
I bet you would.
I damn sure would.
Bring back Kelvin Benjamin and everything. Y'all might be all right.
so TP, as far as turnovers go, 106 fumbles and 242 interceptions.
You turn the ball over. Wait, all those fumbles, are they just saying fumbles or are these lost fumbles? Because there's a difference. You can
It just
fumble the
says
ball
fumbles.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
we
just
don't
says
know
fumbles.
how many were actually lost, how many were turnovers.
Oh no, but I got a
But
better
either
stat
way,
for you.
hold on to the damn ball.
319 sacks.
Jesus Christ.
How
In
many games did he
1976,
play?
in 1976, he got sacked 39 times.
I mean, David Carr has the record. I don't give a fuck. David Carr still has the record.
How long was if he had that? His average attempt was only 7.1 yards. It wasn't like he was throwing bombs. Oh Jesus!
David Carr's
From
average per attempt is like 6 something.
but now when they got Don Coryell from 79, 80, and 80, 79, 80, and 81 in them 3 seasons, right? He was MVP all 3 times. Was he MVP? I think he was MVP, or maybe that's the voting. So it's like AP MVP dash 2. So I'm assuming that's voting. But in those 3 seasons, he had 4,082 yards, 47-15, and hold on, Marlo just came back. Let me get Marlo back in here. And he had 4802. He in 1981 he averaged 301 yards a game. What the? Hold on, wait. What the hell? In 82, he only had 2,800 yards. I think he was injured. 82, he had 2,800 yards, but he averaged 320 yards a game. But all the sacks that he done, oh my God, at that point, he had 220 sacks. So maybe I understand why he was fumbling the ball. Again, that was the other fuck it. Fuck this shit. These motherfuckers don't want to block. But you gonna take Dan Fouts? Dan
Take
Fouts.
Dan Phelps.
I would
Oh,
like to recant my statement, please.
Cause wee. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I would like to recant that statement. Never mind.
I don't even know how we got down that rabbit hole. But that's a good rabbit hole because I had no idea. And let me see how many sacks Dan Marino. Dan Marino, by comparison, only got 270 sacks. This can't be right. This can't. I might have to recant my goddamn statement. This can't be right. Um, in 1988, Dan Marino threw for 4,034 yards. He averaged 277 yards a game. He got sacked 6 times. No, it ain't.
Dan
No,
Marino had
because Dan got rid of the ball.
he had the quickest release in the game.
Yeah.
Hey,
He did.
The
He
season he
did.
threw for 5,000. He only got sacked for 13 times. That is the definition of I got him. Damn.
You know what else that reminds me of? That reminds me of that wow factor. He just had that wow factor. It'd be like, wow, that was an amazing play. And then he come back and he hold the ball for 8 years and fumble it for 6. And it's like, wow, that was a fucking terrible play. But either way, you watching going wow all day. And you knew who he was by the end of it.
I might want to recant my
But
statement
there's just
about
some
Dan
parts
Marino.
about, but there's just some parts when people go back and they looking at stats, you know what I mean? They don't show the good stats. They're not showing you how many turnovers the man had. They just showing you yards and touchdowns. And then you're like, man, this was an amazing guy. Then they got the highlights of the good plays. And you're like, damn, this was an amazing guy. You're not seeing all the bullshit. Like Brett Favre. Brett Favre will have just as many touchdowns as he does interceptions, but they only going to show you the touchdowns. And some of these crazy throws. There's that one play where he just loft up a prayer to Sterling Sharp, and Sharp went and got it in the Triple H Metrodome up there in Minnesota. And it's like, man, that was an amazing play from Brett Favre. He had 3 interceptions that game. We're not going to see that. We're going to see this outstanding play to Sterling Sharp in a game that they should have been up by 1 million. It ended up being a close game.
So I'm not willing to put Dan Marino in my GOAT discussion. What I am willing to say, though, we got to start talking about him. I'm looking at 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 17 TDs. He had 420 touchdowns and 252 TDs. Interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
420 to 252. I was surefire for to say, man, Dan Marino put the defensive coordinator in a bad position. No, the fuck he didn't.
No, he threw interceptions just like every other quarterback. But
This
again,
man basically was throwing 60% his whole career.
yeah, very accurate, very accurate.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, Dan Marino. My bad. I was but a young boy. You ain't on the Rushmore,
You
but you were definitely an honorable mention.
you keep talking about all of this stuff he did, but Tom Brady ain't even got close to them numbers of
This
interception
motherfucker just bringing up. Is we?
Uh-oh.
Why are we bringing up Tom Brady? Why?
because he took care of the ball.
Tom Brady ain't better than Nick Foles.
Okay.
I said what I said.
Well, we all know on this podcast
TP.
we do have our resident hater.
This ain't even hate.
Jesus.
Nick Foles beat him head up.
Jesus
Beat him
Christ.
head up.
Beat who?
Beat who?
Tom Brady.
Beat who?
Nick Foles beat Tom Brady for the money. For the money. Nick Foles even caught a touchdown pass in that game.
Stop. But funny story, do y'all remember when Tom Brady tried to run the same play and he just was not open? He had to realize you ain't got the juice like that.
That's the perfect example of stay in your lane.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
You ain't got the juice like that.
Man. I mean, oh, man.
Pull up Tom Brady interceptions.
He got about 2 something.
We all know they low. He played for 20 years.
22 years.
So if you got 200 interceptions over 20 years,
212.
212 interceptions over 20 years.
Okay, first off, stop acting like Dan Marino played for a week. Dan Marino played for a long ass goddamn time.
He did.
Oh,
but
how many touchdowns did Tom Brady have? What's his touchdown to interception ratio?
Thank you, sir. Don't worry. He got the record in that too. He got the record in passing yards.
He really sitting down here looking up Tom Brady's stats. I don't know how we became the Tom Brady podcast.
We
I
haven't.
don't know how we got here.
We're just comparing and contrasting.
Tom Brady has 649 touchdowns to 212 interceptions.
How many touchdowns?
649.
Say something now, Troy. Say something now.
I'm looking at his average per attempt.
You can look at anything, brother.
About 7 yards.
His best season was with the hold on, let me see. 53-16.
It's when he hit Randy Moss.
His
Randy
best
Moss.
season was Randy Moss.
Yep.
39 touchdowns to 12 interceptions.
And Randy Moss caught 22 of them.
So looking at Tom Brady's stats, every time he had some outlandish numbers, they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were also 17-0 that season. That was the year that Eli Manning beat him.
He lost to the GOAT.
Yep, that was that year. I remember like it was yesterday because I was like, this is crazy. And then Plaxico Burress, touchdown, Super Bowl, blouses, bitch, blouses.
Wow.
Game,
Is this your king?
blouses.
Is this your king? Oh man. Oh man.
At the end of the day,
Tom Brady hate.
Tom Brady can't go play defense
Grab
for him too.
I will put Tom Brady's numbers up. I'll put his numbers up against anybody in the game. Who got better numbers than he do? Like if you got all the records, he ain't got the records though.
Look at Warren Moon's Canadian records.
Professional.
He has the Canadian. He has the Canadian record. I'm talking about the National Football League, sir.
I know. I'm just talking about
football. We just got done talking about that. Here's why you can't say just Canadian football. You can't say just Canadian football because he went to the Rose Bowl, did his thing where every other quarterback in the history of the world, when they go do their thing in the Rose Bowl, Ryan Leaf, he didn't have to go to Canadian Football League.
Is that what you gonna hang your head on Ryan Leaf?
Ryan Leaf was also what's the word I'm looking? Prototypical quarterback. What they were looking for. He passed the eye test. Never mind whether or not this motherfucker ever opened his playbook or looked at film. We ain't asking that.
Okay.
This reminds me, y'all have y'all ever watched that movie Draft Day?
Yeah.
When y'all ready for the stats, the quarterback. There's the quarterback that the organization wanted him to draft. Then there's the hometown defensive lineman he wanted to draft. Now, he traded out of his pick, traded back. And then when he decided that he wanted to not take the quarterback, what he had did was he gave this quarterback a playbook that was blank. And then when he asked him about it, the quarterback was like, yeah, man, it looked good. It looked good. At that point, he knew that wasn't his guy. If they'd have done that with Ryan Leaf, the Chargers would have never fucked up like that.
So, for
Jamarcus Russell too with the Raiders. Y'all don't get no pass either.
Oh, you know who his offensive coordinator was? Wanna know who his offensive coordinator was? Some grown ass dude named Jimbo.
Not Jimbo Fisher.
Yes, he was. He was Nick Saban's offensive coordinator.
Not Mr. Fisher.
Motherfucker. Anyway, Warren Moon stats. His Canadian stats. Crazy. 144 touchdowns and 77 interceptions, 21,222 yards, 57.5 completion percentage, 93.8 passer rating, and 14 rushing touchdowns. His pro stats: 291 touchdowns, 233 interceptions in the run and shoot, 49,325 passing yards, and 22 rushing touchdowns with a passer rating of 80.9. Stop playing with Warren Moon. 5 straight Grey Cups. 5. Stop playing with this man. The level of the fact that he got to get disrespected and sent to the Canadian League because nobody want to take a chance on a black quarterback that played at a Power 5 school.
And here's another stat that a lot of people don't know. He played football as long as any other quarterback before him. He had the record for most years as a professional quarterback because we are still counting the Canadian years as a part of his career. He played more professional years of football than anybody until Tom Brady. Warren Moon to go, man. Go Oilers. Go Texas.
I don't even. Two-time NFL passing yards leader. NFL I can't. It's no reason for me to do this. It's literally no reason for me to do this. None. In 1984, they called this man the Rookie of the Year, or made the All-Rookie team in 1984. Why? He wasn't no rookie. He already had more yards than Dan Marino at that point.
He was a rookie to the NFL, though.
Oh man.
Technically.
So the Vikings give TJ Hawkinson a historic deal. He is the highest paid tight end in the NFL. I just, I got some questions. I just got some questions. TJ Hawkinson. The TJ guy. So TJ signed a 4-year contract extension that will pay him at least $66 million and up to $68 million. He'll make $42.5 million guaranteed. And he says he's excited to play football.
I would be too.
He played for the Vikings, right?
He does.
Is Jay Cutler going to still be his quarterback next year?
Who?
Because if you pay, did I say Jay Cutler? Oh my God, I said Jay Cutler.
Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cuzzo. Yeah, Kirk Cuzzo. You know why I say Jay Cutler? It reminds me, they're the same dude, just different eras. Same guy. All this talent, arm talent. And it's just blah.
There you go.
But don't do that. For 10 years, Kirk Cousins was check down Charlie. Don't do that. He had an incredible completion percentage. He also probably had more running backs to lead running backs and catches than any other guy I ever knew.
I
But
mean, he lasted longer than RG3.
That man never learned how to slide.
Yeah.
He never learned how to slide.
Never.
Florida fans, you are losing 14-3. Florida fans, alert! You are losing 14-3. That coach ain't gonna get back on the plane.
Florida.
Oh my God!
Florida's a bad team this year. Your quarterback goes down, and they still don't have a clue. Like, I hope they never win a game. Honestly,
That's why you my dog. That's why you my dog. I ain't even got to throw no blows. So, Gator fans, here's how we got here. You had a top 10 quarterback that had agreed to an NIL deal that your collective could not afford. And he waited on y'all to figure out what y'all was going to do. And y'all never did. So he's at Arizona State right now, TP.
Hmm.
He went from Florida to Arizona State.
I
He gonna
would
be playing
say
the big. Man.
fuck up and move up, but that may not be the case in this situation. May not be able to use that. You know what I'm saying?
It is 17-3. It is 17-3.
First, I only predict Florida to win 3 games,
uh,
and that's
they
all they
might
layups.
they might beat Kent State. I don't know.
Mike, they
They
are.
gonna fuck around and lose. Look, they lose to Kentucky. Don't be like, oh, that's a basketball school. No, they got on Florida ass.
Again.
And I was telling people, you listen. When it come to Utah, don't fuck around and play with them dudes. You got to blow them out in the first quarter. Don't play with them dudes. If you don't keep letting them hang around, they're gonna mess around and go into that 3 yards and a cloud of dust offense, and it's over. Your defense coordinator got fired for no reason. This is bad.
I don't even know why we talk about them.
Cause it's you know why we talk about it? Cause it couldn't happen to better people, Marlo. Like, it's one thing to hate on people.
Nebraska finally scored. It's only the third quarter. They finally got on the board. But what makes it worse is there was only 3 points on the board when they scored the touchdown.
Wow.
That had to be an ugly first half of football. I'm sorry.
Who they playing?
A 3-0 game at halftime is an ugly game. Nobody wants to see that shit in college football.
North Carolina A&T fans, y'all are losing 21-3 to UAB. Arkansas Pine Bluff is losing 28-7 against Tulsa. That is a good showing. I don't care what nobody say. Missouri is beating the brakes out of South Dakota. North Carolina State is in a slugfest with UConn.
North Carolina State should lose.
You sound surprised.
I'm trying to figure out why Elon got 14 points on Wake. Elon. And the fact that we can't beat Wake just make it ugly. Georgia State, 35-28 over URI.
First of all, you would put some respect on Georgia State name.
I'm not disrespecting Georgia State. I ain't disrespecting Georgia State. But they beating URI 42-28. I can't say nothing else about it. Nothing else about it. So Marlo, wow, it's not. But you know what, fans, I apologize. I did not realize it was 9:58. It is football season.
He was gonna keep us here all night.
It's here. It is here. Oh,
I don't know what's worse, going into a Mexican party or listen to Troy talk about football. Either way, you're gonna be there till 4 in the morning. The only difference is the Hispanics bringing drinks. Where's the patron, Mr. Troy?
I ain't get here by myself. Trouble driving drunk. You had an opportunity to drive and you said no. Kids, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive.
I don't know what take longer, Troy talking about Florida State or my mama trying to tell people bye as we leaving. Either one is gonna take a while.
Oh my God! I didn't mean to blow. I didn't. Fans, I apologize. It's football season. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up real quick. Real quick. It is the first week of the season officially. Although I told TP he was right about the South Carolina State JSU game.
Mm-hmm.
However, you know what?
But why was I right though? Why was I right? That's the part you got.
You were right because Jackson State was better prepared, and South Carolina State was a 3-win team, and they looked like a 3-win team from last season. I don't think they're gonna win the game this season. The MEAC is meek this year. Game we did not really get to, because we're gonna get to it real quick. Florida State, LSU. Here are my keys to the game. Florida State's ability to run the football. Florida State's ability to keep the offensive coordinator helmet away from him. Do not let him put that headset on. Make him sit on the sideline and call, should we go for 4th down and short? That's his only job. Know your role. That's your role. Keep the defense spread out. Say, throw it to the 6'6" Johnny Wilson. This boy is a monster. If 3rd and 8, find a way to get him open and throw. Now we got some other weapons, but that's going to be the key to the game. It should not be, if LSU has done their job this summer, it should not be Florida State winning by 40. But if Brian Kelly, Florida State by 40. I said what I said.
Did you say Florida State by 40?
I said what I said. If Brian Kelly, we're going to win by 40. If old cornrow, we're going to win by 1.
You know, when you got that one friend that he just, no matter what, he gonna say some shit that make everybody in the room look at each other and be like, that's just him. That's just what he do.
Mm-hmm.
You that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You that friend. You that friend that everybody, it is understood that it's gonna be some shit that's gonna be questionable at best come out your mouth.
Smoke in the city.
In the city.
And where there's smoke,
there's some shit that
he better not lose that game.
Oh my God.
Oh, yep, 100%.
Do you know how long it take to drive from Miami to Tallahassee?
Oh, okay.
I'm in a Tesla.
Watching. Hey, I'm looking at some of these Nebraska plays. I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Bad News Bears. DJ said this team was gonna win the Big Ten. There is no fucking way this team wins more than 5 games. There's no way. There's no way.
How do you go 3 quarters in a college football game and score 7 points?
And that was because they had a kickoff return that brought them to the 10-yard line. My bad, DJ. My bad.
Ooh.
DJ. I just like what I'm looking at, it don't look good. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh my. I don't like. I
And
can't feel bad.
don't look good. He gonna
All
hate
right,
me.
TP. I know we talked about it a little bit. Talked about it a little bit. Longhorns and rice. I
I
don't.
mean,
I
by a
don't.
million. They say not to look forward to your next opponent, but we taking a trip to T-Town, and we bringing Bevo with us. Let's get it on.
He
We
already
got
went to the Alabama
revenge.
game, Marlo. He did. He just skilled the
Yeah, fuck
whole week.
Rice. Those are law students and medical students. Like, they not worried about football at Rice. No disrespect, but all disrespect. We don't give a fuck. We worried about Bama.
I mean, so
You
for
talking about
fans that
practice?
call
You
this
talking
nigga
about
practice,
practice?
call this nigga practice.
We ain't talking about a game. We talking about practice. Rice is practice. We're opening up with Rice because we wanted practice. We wanted practice hitting guys that were not guys.
I don't know if I have
Bottom
a
line,
single Rice follower, and if you out there,
you don't. You don't.
if you out there, remember
You
I
don't.
didn't say this. TP did.
They don't care. And then that's the problem. They don't care because they're not a football school.
Mm.
Oh man.
I tell you what, some smart motherfuckers that go to that school. I give them that. There's some smart people at Rice University.
Oh,
Some smart guys there.
oh, yeah. Um, there is if I'm not mistaken, a Grambling State and Alcorn game that normally we wouldn't talk about, but somebody who I thought was my friend decided to pick against me.
Of course they did.
Whew.
And my original post was GSU by 40.
GSU by 40.
I know they got that coach that couldn't win the game in the NFL. I know what I said, Marlo. I know you ain't. Nobody has to remind me. I know. I'm like Dabu. I know you can't give me no gun. I know. Um. So yeah. Friday night, Miami of Ohio plays the University of Miami. I don't care if it's illogical or not. I'm probably gonna pick the University of Miami, Ohio. Yep, I'm gonna be petty.
What? What did you just say?
What?
That one guy, that one person in your circle,
What? What?
that one person in your circle.
What?
I
Well,
don't really care for them.
well, well. Okay, let's do this.
It sound like he need better friends.
Well, let's do this. We're gonna stop all this foolishness and put some skin in the game.
No, he not. I ain't never betting. The
Marlo, I
University of
already
Ohio.
tried to bet him an eyebrow that the Broncos have a better record than his Raiders. I said I got some thick ass eyebrows and they'll still be here come January. He don't want to take the bet though.
I can't in good
He don't want
conscience
to take the bet.
make that bet knowing my coach is my coach. There seems to be a running theme with my squad.
Then I don't want to hear it. Then stop with all the Russell Wilson slander.
It's
Stop
not
with
Russell
all the
Wilson slander.
Broncos is trash.
He is a bum. If he's not a bum, he's bum adjacent.
You can't sit here and talk shit about the Broncos and say that, oh, y'all are better, but we won't have a better record. Make sense, Troy.
No. I said we were gonna have a better record. I also said
Put an eyebrow on it.
I'm not doing that.
On it.
My coach is still my coach. I can't do that.
So
I can't
Put
do
an
that.
eyebrow on it so I know it's real.
When we fire the head coach and get Tom Brady out the front office, I can put eyebrows on stuff. But we already messing up the
Put an
season.
eyebrow on it so
Don't
we
want
know
to
it's
pay.
real.
How do you not pay the lead in Russia? You know what? It's already after 10 o'clock. We got to keep it moving. All right, Marlo. Now, hold on. I need to make some disclaimers. On this podcast, Marlo is the resident FAMU alumnus. My affinity and love for FAMU goes a little bit different, but Marlo is the alumnus. And on the podcast, I allow Marlo free reign to talk all the shit he wants. But you the people, when this podcast is over, when that game is over on Saturday, if you've ever paid attention to this podcast, it is going to be very different for you guys if y'all lose this game. It is not going to be pretty. I'm not going to be nice. I'm not. I ain't even going to front with y'all. I'm going to be a terrible person. I'm going to be an absolute terrible person. I wish y'all all the best in all y'all endeavors. But if you lose this game, I might get banned for Twitter. Y'all made me a meme. Y'all made me a meme, and I ain't going to ever forgive y'all for that. Marlo, FAMU, Jackson State, this weekend, Orange Blossom Classic. Unfinished business. Start the season off with a big game. Set the tone for the year. My prediction, 35-15 FAM. That's my prediction.
Well, that's cute. I just can't see Jackson State inflicting their will against my squad. But on the contrary, I see FAMU inflicting their will on Jackson State.
Did I say Jackson State?
Will you bet
Did I
an
say Jackson
eyebrow
State?
on it?
I will.
If I said Jackson State, I know I didn't say Jackson State, did I? 35-15 FAMU? Oh, let me correct myself. 35-15 FAMU. Let me be correct.
That what you said?
I'm over here drunk with power, y'all.
That what you said?
I'm drunk with power. 35-15 FAM? Okay, all right. Okay. Just make sure.
But
Jackson
I got
State
memes
by
loaded
10.
up.
You said Jackson State by 10.
Jackson State by 10.
I'm betting the eyebrow.
And you said you want to bet an eyebrow on it?
I got a whole eyebrow
on that one.
You said you want to bet an eyebrow on that one?
I did not say that, sir.
Oh.
I said Jackson State by 10.
I just thought we were going to have our first eyebrow bet of the season.
Nah, he didn't want to bet the eyebrow on some real shit.
You know, I get it.
I told him bet the eyebrow on them Raiders. He don't want to do that because he know better.
Yeah, nah, he ain't finna do that one.
Y'all starting quarterback is Jimmy G.
And my head coach is a freaking New England Patriot. We are not New England Patriots West. We are the Raiders. Not doing that. As soon as we get rid of that head coach and we get back to serious football, then I'll be betting eyebrows.
Well, the Raiders have been playing serious football in some years, sir.
Look, one eyebrow if the Broncos have a better record, both eyebrows if the Raiders have the worst record in the AFC.
Hold on.
He gonna look like he just poured half a bottle of lighter fluid in the grill, put his face right over it, and threw a match in.
So, first things first. Y'all doing a lot of laughing at my Raiders.
Marlo will be sizzled off.
Marlo, laugh now, cry later. Laugh now, cry later.
First of all, there's never going to be a point that I'm not going to laugh at funny stuff. I'm gonna laugh at funny stuff
It's
all the
gonna
time.
Funny stuff.
be but the funny stuff gonna be your Buccaneers this season.
No,
Baker
that's gonna be
Mayfield is
funny.
your starting quarterback.
It's gonna be funny, but he won't be laughing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
It's
makes
gonna
sense.
be funny to me.
It won't be funny to him, but it will be funny.
First of
The
all,
first time we see Marlo on ESPN climbing over the wall because Baker Mayfield threw his third interception.
if he get the 3, I'm not going after Baker Mayfield.
He's going after the coach.
It's a coaching decision. It is literally a coaching decision.
God damn it. He's not going after the.
And Todd gonna have to show me, like, you trying to do this on purpose? Like, it's your fault. You got us here.
This is fuck around and find out season.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna shock the world. Let's go, Baker. Yay.
We already 2+ hours in. I can't dig into that. I cannot dig into that. As much as I want to dig into that TV, oh my God, he said.
Man, look. They
We got
named
next
that dude the starting
next week.
quarterback.
We got next week. As a matter of fact, there won't be an NFL game before next week.
Mhm.
Podcast. When's the first game?
The 10th, I think.
The 7th.
Is the 7th?
First game is on the 7th. Yeah, it's the 7th.
That's
I don't
next.
remember who's playing the first game.
That's next
Thursday.
Thursday. It'll be when the podcast is live. The first game will be. So we can revisit this conversation.
Yeah, we'll revisit that.
Absolutely.
It's that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna call this segment "I Said What I Said." We had a couple things happen in Florida this week. Everybody knows about the hurricane. We also had a tragic shooting in Jacksonville, in which a young man decided that his racism was more important than the lives of 3 African Americans, and he went into a Family Dollar store and shot it up. He also attempted to go to Edward Waters College. Now, if you heard the news on CNN, you heard he went to a historically black college, and they kept saying historically black college. Let's be clear, that historically black college was Edward Waters. I'm not sure why they didn't want to name the college. Maybe they didn't want to give people ideas. I don't know. But it was Edward Waters.
First of all,
Not through security.
no, it was the students that tipped security off. But if you know
Yep.
where Edward Waters, like, I was born in Jacksonville. Edward Waters is off of Kings Road. If you know anything about Kings Road in Jacksonville, if you are a Caucasian person on that side of town, you are out of place off the dribble. So students saw him on campus putting on body armor and tactical gear. Even more so. Like, you can't be that much. First of all, he a coward. Because when he was approached, when security approached him, he jumped the curb in the car and fled the scene and went to the Dollar General, where there were people in there unarmed, unaware, and he come in there with an AR style rifle and a pistol and started firing on people. What a coward.
Definitely a sad situation. And prayers go out to the families of the victims involved.
Even more so of a coward, and you shoot yourself.
I'm at the point in my life
Should have just started
where
there.
Should have started there.
you can no longer tell me it's mental health issues No, it's gun issues at this point because it's not. We're not talking about people running into the store with pistols. They're running in the store with assault style rifles. They are not made to hunt nothing. You are only hunting people with that gun. Stop telling me it's mental health.
But
These politicians and, and you black people that want to allow Ron DeSantis to speak, no. You the same organizations that are saying that y'all not coming to Florida because of Ron DeSantis. Now we not gonna be quiet. It is your right to protest the state of Florida. It is not your right to get in front of cameras and tell Floridians to let that man speak. He's spoken enough. He don't need to speak no more. It ain't nothing he gonna say that's gonna bring any good to our community. Period. Fuck him and everything he stand on. I said what I said. TP.
I'm gonna keep it short. We got a date with Alabama next week. That's all I'm really worried about at this point. I don't care about nothing else that's going on. I hope everybody's staying safe out there in Florida, Georgia. I heard the hurricane is moving up the coast. Apparently Troy said it's a barbecue, but for a lot of people it probably wasn't. I've been through hurricanes and I know how the devastation that can follow, because the hurricane itself might not be the worst part. Going 2 weeks without power or water or gas, that's the shit that people don't understand. That's the real struggle. So, for all the families, especially those with small children and elderly, I hope they remain safe and, let God get them through this time of need. Now, that's my time. Marlo?
I would just like to take this opportunity to reflect on the things that we as a country have experienced in this past week. We've seen a presidential debate that talked about no issues. We've had a governor of a state say that he's going to have 40,000 linemen show up to a state where the ruralest part of the state was hit by a storm. But the state is paying for these linemen to be here to restore power. I just want people to be aware of the things that are going, like if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Like this individual has not shown a single ounce of presidential prowess in anything he has done for the state of Florida or even during his campaign. Like he has yet to talk about a serious issue that affects the lives of people that look like me. Has yet to talk about one. But yet and still he's out there trying to drum up votes in communities that don't look like us, but think that that's okay. So my message is to the people out there now, like it's on us. It ain't on them no more. It ain't never been on them. But it's on us more so than it has been in the past. If you do not get out and vote, you are complicit in everything that happens. You are part of the problem by not getting out and exercising your right that people have died. Like, I don't think people understand that part of it. Like, they died so you could do it. And if you don't, you spitting on their grave. So, I mean, it ain't about being politically correct, or it ain't about, trying to cater to an audience. It's about what kind of country you want to live in. And I just implore you to exercise. I don't care who you vote for. Vote your interest. It's that simple. You can vote for whoever has your interest at heart. And if it's a Republican, vote for him. If it's a Democrat, vote. If it's I don't care who it is, but vote. Don't sit on the sidelines and complain. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. And that's all I got to say about that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for coming out to the podcast, for watching on all of our platforms and socials. I would also say shout out to all them Florida Gators. Y'all down bad right now. I hope your woman is there to comfort you because you down bad. 24-3 at the end of the third. Woo. I guess it ain't so great to be a Florida Gator, is it? All right, y'all. That's our time. Good night.